It actually took a very tough beating to get me out of the sport.
By Pacquiao.
Manny Pacquiao.
Ever wonder what goes through a champion's head when he steps back into the ring after years away? Do you ever ask yourself, does this fighter still carry that same...
He beat the hell out of me. Manny Pacquiao would be right in front of me. He would, after hitting me 15 times,
Oscar De La Hoya stood in the gym, hearing the steady rhythm of fists pounding the heavy bag, his eyes locked on a familiar figure moving with purpose. It was Manny Pacquiao, 46 years old, for years out of the spotlight, yet still shadowboxing with that same fierce energy that once made him a worldwide star. De La Hoya knew boxing is usually a young man's game, but...
And then I would be ready to hit him, and he would be wide open, and I couldn't pull the trigger. I just couldn't pull the trigger.
De La Hoya came to find out if the greatness in those hands was still there. And what he saw wasn't an aging legend hanging on to past fame. It was a fighter-driven...
I still remember to this day the conversation I had with Oscar when I first told him, hey, you should fight Pacquiao.
After rounds of sparring and exhausting drills with Pacquiao, De La Hoya's first words echoed across the gym like a jolt of energy. He didn't act like time hadn't passed. He didn't shy away from their shared history or Pacquiao's long list of accomplishments. Instead, he spoke with raw honesty about the heart behind every punch, the passion behind every fast combination, and that same determined spark.
Oscar laughed. He's too little. He's too little, that guy. There is a difference of almost 20 pounds.
De La Hoya described how Pacquiao, the same man who once made history by winning titles across 8 weight divisions, now trained with the sharpness of a seasoned pro and the hunger of a young challenger. Every punch carried force and accuracy. Every step showed his body still remembered all those years battling inside the ring. De La Hoya admitted he had his doubts about Pacquiao defying age. But after seeing him now...
People want to see that fight. People are excited. He's the guy that's coming up. He's fast, Oscar, but eventually your size is going to break him down.
The talk quickly turned to the big question. Why return now, with nothing left to prove? Pacquiao's answer was simple, but carried weight. His love for boxing never faded, and the desire to face top fighters still burned strong. De La Hoya understood. Real warriors never truly quit. They just wait for the right moment to spark that flame again. Watching Pacquiao move, it was obvious the blazing speed, the heavy punches, they were all still there. Those 4 years away, they didn't slow him down, they gave him new life. At 46, Pacquiao wasn't coming back just to fight. He was coming back to challenge everything people believe about aging in boxing. Younger fighters have been eager to take over. But Pacquiao's return? This wasn't just another comeback. It was the return of a true legend, ready to measure himself against youth itself. De La Hoya remembered the first time he faced Pacquiao, that quick southpaw who slipped punches like a shadow, and now here he was again, reminding the world why his name is forever.
It's not right. I can see it in his eyes. He's not even throwing punches. What is he doing?
Pacquiao snakes his left hand through De La Hoya's guard.
De La Hoya spoke about the stories he'd heard. Pacquiao outrunning at sunrise, praying at sunset, fitting in church services between training sessions. His routine was a strict mix of discipline and faith. Compared to Pacquiao's camp, most others looked like light workouts. Some critics laughed, saying Pacquiao's age would catch up to him. But De La Hoya saw something different. It had sharpened him. He thought back to their own fight years ago, no sugarcoating it. He remembered every clean punch Pacquiao landed, each one a warning shot. He admitted he entered that fight drained from cutting weight and underestimated Pacquiao. But what he faced that night wasn't just a man, it was a storm. That memory stayed with De La Hoya, both haunting him and proving Pacquiao's greatness. He talked about the unspoken code of sparring, Pacquiao's team banned cameras, but created a gym filled with respect. Still, short clips would sometimes leak, brief glimpses, but they revealed enough. Pacquiao moved with the energy of a man half his age. His punches were sharp, his angles impossible to guess. Even behind closed doors, Pacquiao's fighting style.
He had no legs, he had no pop, he had no punch.
De La Hoya explained the close-range drills. Pacquiao never looked for shortcuts. No easy rounds. No backing down. Every movement, every drill, was treated as if it were a real fight. His past achievements weren't enough. He wanted to write a whole new chapter. As De La Hoya told the story, the full picture became clear. Pacquiao, the kid turned worldwide star, the senator turned fighter again, all building up to this. His fight with Mario Barrios wasn't about money. It was about making a statement. De La Hoya warned, Barrios may be young and hungry, but he's walking into a test that few have passed. Pacquiao's record speaks volumes, but the fire in his eyes, that told the Real story. This wasn't some show match. This was the real deal, a real shot to prove age means nothing. De La Hoya ended the conversation by reminding Pacquiao to hold on to the joy that made him love boxing in the first place. He told him every champion carries not only their own dreams, but the hopes of fans, nations, and young fighters still watching. His final words were simple: true legends never disappear. They fall, they rise, they fall again, and they rise one more time. Watching Barrios shadowbox opposite
Pacquiao is making De La Hoya look old, slow, ineffectual. De La Hoya has zero answers.
In front of him was a fighter in his prime, muscles cut, eyes focused, trying to escape the shadow of a legend. Barrios fired off fast combinations, but Pacquiao danced around him, hands low, feet floating. De La Hoya chuckled, "It's the oldest move in the book. Show the young lion you've still got your roar." Barrios had speed, strength, all the tools, but no idea how to mess with a veteran's rhythm. The gym buzzed as the coach barked speed, and Barrios fired off quick jabs. But Pacquiao bobbed, weaved, and smiled, not just blocking but playing with him. De La Hoya recognized that smile, the grin of a man who still owned the ring. That grin alone, he believed, could shake Barrios before the first punch was even thrown. De La Hoya knew this fight wouldn't be won by raw power, it would be a battle of experience and strategy. He remembered his early days, how an old veteran's jab could feel like a hammer. Did Barrios know that yet? That one jab from a seasoned fighter wasn't just a punch, it carried years of scars, lessons, and battles. One perfect jab, that could crush a young fighter's dreams. To De La Hoya, that jab was more than a punch, it was proof. It was the sign that Pacquiao wasn't finished, he was back.
I was scared. And I said, you know what? The spark's not there. He doesn't have it. He doesn't have it.
Ready to write the next chapter of his remarkable career. The gym fell silent as Pacquiao shifted to defense drills. Calmly, he absorbed punches, then fired a lightning-fast counter that sent the heavy bag swinging wildly. De La Hoya admired how Pacquiao's defense wasn't flashy. It was smooth like a dancer, sharp like a blade. He couldn't resist taking a jab at modern trainers, saying they rely too much on machines and gadgets. Real defense, he explained, is built the hard way, endless rounds, pure sweat and pain. No machine could teach the instincts that come from real fights. De La Hoya pointed out that Pacquiao's instincts
wouldn't have loved to fight Pacquiao again because he kicked my ass. Sorry. But yeah, there were many fighters out there who I would have loved to fight 2 or 3 times.
De La Hoya's tone shifted as he took a step back to look at the bigger picture. This wasn't just about Pacquiao fighting Barrios. This was Pacquiao battling against time itself. He asked if people really grasp what 40 years of fighting does to a man's body and spirit. He didn't sugarcoat anything. He talked about the scars, the constant soreness, the sleepless nights, when even the best question if it's time to hang up the gloves. Yet here was Pacquiao choosing another round in the ring over peace and quiet.
You know what? So you had enough of Pacquiao is what you're saying.
Oh, trust me. Right when I walked into the ring, I had enough of Pacquiao.
He shared a funny moment from the gym when Pacquiao paused his own drill just to correct Barrios' footwork. Barrios looked surprised as Pacquiao pointed out a tiny mistake. De La Hoya laughed, saying, "It was like watching an old pro showing the rookie how it's done, no holding back." He reminded everyone that only true legends teach with that kind of certainty, and if Barrios felt a little embarrassed, well, that's part of learning. The gym crew made room as Pacquiao started his speed drills. The place went silent like a church. Each punch landed sharp and clean. De La Hoya joked that if every athlete cared like Pacquiao, boxing would be full of saints with gloves. He made it clear that kind of focus and work ethic is rare, like battle armor. He said those quiet, locked-in moments tell the real story, way more than any flashy promo video. Then they started talking about recovery. De La Hoya explained that for older fighters, stiff joints and sore muscles greet them every morning. He chuckled, saying Barrios probably thought soreness was just a myth. But Pacquiao's routine, ice baths, massages, strict rest, proved otherwise. De La Hoya pointed out that today's younger athletes often get too comfortable for...
You thought that when you got in the ring?
Oh, well, Rich, this documentary, my gosh, it's sad too at the end because it shows the whole Pacquiao situation.
De La Hoya talked about seeing Pacquiao kneel in prayer before training. For Pacquiao, faith wasn't just for show, it was his solid foundation. De La Hoya warned, underestimating a fighter's inner peace is as risky as ignoring his footwork. That peace, he explained, is what keeps Pacquiao calm when the chaos starts, making every punch matter. He remembered watching Pacquiao lift a weight heavier than anything Barrios could handle. Pacquiao did it easily, muscles smooth and steady, ready to strike like a cat. De La Hoya laughed at the idea that getting older makes you weak. He explained that real strength shows when your body and mind finally work together. That's when the real power kicks in. Then he switched to the mental side of boxing. He said the sport is half physical, half belief. Pacquiao never lost faith in his purpose. De La Hoya compared that to Barrios, who second-guessed himself when punches missed or he ran out of breath. He said, every fighter carries their future in their head, and Pacquiao's mindset
was getting beat up in training camp when preparing for Pacquiao. So I knew that was the end already for me.
De La Hoya clapped back at those saying Pacquiao's best days are over. He laughed at so-called experts who judge fighters only by flashy highlights, not heart. He explained that fight IQ only gets sharper with age, like a knife getting honed. Experience, he said, helps veterans see openings and flaws that young fighters don't even notice. He dared people to respect wisdom over speed. Then De La Hoya got playful, imagining the critic's tombstone. He laughed, picturing it reading, "Here lies your confidence, 6 rounds into the comeback." But behind the joke was a serious message. In boxing, the last laugh belongs to the one still standing after the final bell. De La Hoya shifted to legacy. He painted the picture of young Filipino kids watching with wide eyes, hearts pounding with every Pacquiao punch. This fight, he argued, wasn't just for titles. It was about believing in the impossible. He warned that this moment would echo through gyms where new dreams are born. That kind of legacy never fades. It grows every time someone dares to believe. Pacquiao, he declared, wasn't finished, he was still climbing. Talking business, De La Hoya pointed out that legends own the spotlight, even outside the ring. He joked that even if Barrios won on paper, Pacquiao would own the headlines. Pay-per-view numbers, he noted, always favor a comeback. He doubted any young debut could match the drama of a legend returning. Boxing, he explained, lives on stories, and few are bigger than Pacquiao's. De La Hoya described the night before the fight. Pacquiao lying awake, muscles twitching, his mind racing through the fight plan. He wondered if true champions ever really sleep, or if their bodies rest while their minds keep working. He described how missed punches and creeping doubts don't break great fighters, they fuel them. Pacquiao, he said, turns those restless nights into fire. He laughed off the idea that youth could shake a legend. He compared Barrios' confidence to a small flame, and Pacquiao's to a raging wildfire. Youth without direction, he warned, burns out fast. But veteran willpower? That burns steady.
Because Pacquiao was just coming up.
Yeah.
Pacquiao was like the star in the make.
De La Hoya remembered when George Foreman knocked out Moore at age 45. The world cheered, but many brushed it off as luck. De La Hoya warned that history has a way of repeating itself and flipping the script on the doubters. He predicted Pacquiao's one would follow the same playbook, defying age, shutting up critics, and rewriting expectations. To close, De La Hoya threw down the challenge. Put your money on the legend who never stepped down from the throne. He reminded everyone that boxing's heartbeat pounds loudest when the veterans face the young guns. July 19th, he declared, wouldn't just be another fight, it would be a battle of belief. He told fans to pick a side, proven greatness or untested potential. 16. The press conference buzzed with tension. Every reporter's question felt like a quick jab. Pacquiao stood calm at the mic, flashing that quiet, confident smile. Barrios showed up full of swagger, promising the world he was ready. Cameras snapped nonstop, catching every smirk, stare, and tense jaw. De La Hoya sat front row, nodding as the verbal shots flew. At the